when you try to create words in your hand, the 10-letter word, okay, is far more difficult to make. Not only from the number of words that is long, when you have a real long words, they are rare, and particularly they are rare to your sort of knowledge. Plus, you have to wait for that many letters to come into that word. Okay, the probability of making that happen is higher, right? Is more difficult. Therefore, you can easily, again, absorb the ordinary Mahjong games sort of intricacy of counting probabilities on in the just the number 1 up to 9. There is strictly the probability of the number of pieces that in the card. Here, we are also make it in a scramble card, but dependent on the letters, okay, the frequency of letters being used and the words you're going to create. So we make a rule, for example, if you make a word, that 7-letter word, you win, you will get 10 points bonus. If you make an 8-letter word, you get 20 points bonus. You get 9-letter word, 30 points, and so on, okay? Of course, the bonus number can be adjusted. Actually, I tell you frankly, we have not populated this game throughout the world to have enough sort of a statistical outcome to make the points assignment, okay, to be sort of perfect. We can start with any assignment. Later on, you may adjust because it's, oh, wow, 10-letter words so hard, we ought to give them, 100 points bonus rather than 50, whatever, okay? So those can be adjusted. But you got the idea that now when you make the Mahjong game, you play the word, you want to make sure when the letters come, you optimize your game to win with more points. We played this game before. We forgot to mention the Scrammble Word. These points can be counted, right? Each word has word points. Now, the same way is still used in the Scramble Majong game to count the words, except now you have additional bonus due to the fact you can now make, okay, longer words in your 13 or 14 cards. Got the idea?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so.
I know, you're bright. I mean, you are now going to high school, right? Right?
Yep.
You just graduated from what, Somers Middle School?
Yeah.
So next year you'll be in high school. Do you know your courses, teachers, assignment yet?
No, I don't.
You don't? Well, first year you're going to have a bigger change from middle school to high school. High schools seem to have a much more sort of courses, classes that are distributed, with different students. So it's not as sort of fixed as a one homeroom type of home class. Okay. Anyway, let's come back to our game.
All right.
And now you understand this game, right?
Yes, kind of.
You think it's interesting to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me add one more thing before we go on to demonstrate again. We said in ordinary Mahjong game, okay, you can play with 4 people sitting on a square table. As Scramble Mahjong, you can do that too, except we actually allow to play with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more people. It does not have to be limited to 4, okay, even though the same set of number of cards are. Why? Because in principle, the win pattern only requires 14 cards, correct?
Yes.
And 136 can support many 14s, right? So obviously can support up to 8 or 9 people in principle. But of course, you don't get 14 cards first round you win. You have to exchange cards for a while to win. So obviously go beyond 8 or 9 people, it's not possible. But however, 6, 7, 5, it's certainly very much doable. Why? Because if you are a good player, it doesn't take a person too long to figure out a set of winning patterns. Oh, gee, this 13 cards I got is very suitable for me to build a 4-letter word, 8-letter word, plus a pair, I need another letter. I'm just waiting for that, bang, bang, bang. Couple of rounds, you could make it. That depends on the player's vocabulary set. The better vocabulary you have, the better chance for you to win early in the game. So that's why this game is far more educational and challenging to the brain. Okay?
Okay.
So now, pretending we are playing two people. Okay? But in order to demonstrate this, we share with our TV audience. We can't really hide our cards and play against each other because then nobody can see anything. So what I will do is pretending now one person's cards will be open on the board. We will discuss how this play is going on, assuming the other people are sitting there, either one or two or three, sort of playing. Their cards are in the dark, so therefore they don't show their cards. We use one person's cards to demonstrate.
Okay.
You think that will work?
I think so.
Okay. All right, we'll take these down. All right. Again, we'll do a little more shoveling. The sound is make sure we really shovel. Okay, then shovel this. All right, in this game, we first deal with each person 13 cards, right? However you do it, you can do it with throw dice, draw one at a time, two at whatever, or just one time have a dealer deal 13 cards to each person, okay? Okay, this 13 is yours, but we shall not use. We use this 13 and leave the rest card there. Now, come back to the board. I have 13 cards, assuming that I am the first one to lead the game. That is, after dealt 13 cards, I would have to play. To play means I need to draw the 14th card and match against my cards, okay? So then I will be able to see what words I can make. Now, in order to share this with everybody, the way I will do is, okay, I am going to just put my letters, 13 letters, let's say out and open, okay? That's fine, okay? I got 13. Now, experienced player, the first thing you do is go through your brains to process and see what sort of words you can make. Now, I said before we can make 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 4, 8, 5, 7, so on. There is also a rule you can introduce by throwing a dice or somehow before the game determines, okay, this hand we shall make 2, 5, 7, or 2, 3, 4, 5. That you limit the pattern you have to make, okay? Or you can say, no, we play any pattern you want, okay? Except the higher pattern scores more. However you want to decide, that players should decide that beforehand. Let's say we, for the demonstration purpose, we just say, okay, this hand will make 2, 3, 4, 5, which typically is most probably the simplest set of game that you can play, okay? Now, if you wanted to make 2, 3, 4, 5, and a two-letter word, by the way, should be emphasized. Two-letter word happen to be very conveniently suitable for this game is that the two-letter word in the dictionary is, okay, no more than 103 or 104, depending on which dictionary you follow. But let's say we follow the Scramble dictionary, which is sort of Scrabble dictionary, okay? You know Scrabble, right?
Yes.
The Scrabble guys play these two-letter words a lot because they needed adjacent words and so on. The two-letter word is documented, okay? Has grown since in the 50s up to now to 104. Okay? So it's fairly limited, although everybody is required to have a two-letter word in order to win this pattern. So here you can easily see, wow, A, E, 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 U, E. There's a lot of vowels. It's very easy to make two-letter words, okay? And depending on the scores you want to do, for example, M-E could be a two-letter word that, oh, I use that as my Majong pair. Mm-hmm. Then worry about the rest of 3, 4, 5, okay? Now, see, for example, okay, if we see that there's so many vowels, we should make some words that at least get rid of a couple of vowels, all right? Let's say this wild, okay, the wild is, try to do some 5-letter word, like say there's a double E here, right? E, E.
How about muted?
I was thinking, okay, T-E-A-D. All right? Now, this is how you think. Say, for example, this is a 3-letter word, a 4-letter word. You roughly go through that quickly. Now, since you are, say, I'm the first player, I need to draw a card, that's the 14th card, right? And look at this and see whether I can make it into the 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern, okay? Now, let's see. All right, let's say we do a steal, okay? And we do 3, 4, 5. Ooh, cube. MT is not good. Now, all you need to do really is to make a 2-letter word interchange. U is taken care of. Cube, do, that's fine, right? Mm-hmm. 3-letter word. This is a 5-letter word, steal, but you need to have 2-letter words, so you have to either take E or A out. Ha!
Metal.
Oh, stall, no. S-T-A-L. Oops, T, double T. Let's see. See, that's where you need to worry about how the combination goes. Since you have a wild, we should really take advantage of that and see whether, can you think, help? In these, let's say you want to stick with this, M-E as 2-letter word.
Okay.
All right? See whether you can make a 3, 4, 5. Now, double T is, let's say if we tilt, no, then A is, see, this is where your brain has to start processing, right? Can you use cube some other way?
No proper nouns?
No proper nouns, of course, yeah. All right? So you got double T to take care of that. But actually, it's not difficult to get rid of another T.
I see a word you can make, but it's with these 2 words.
What?
I see a word you can make, but it's with these 2 words. It involves that with this.
What? Say it.
Beaker.
B, E.
B-E-A-C-R. E-R.
That's a 5-letter word, you mean?
Yes.
But then you have to worry about the rest of the letters,
yeah.
right? To make it into 3 or 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about, take your time to think about this, okay? Now, if you couldn't, of course, when you play Mahjong, just like the ordinary Mahjong game, when you got a hand, you draw the 14th card, you cannot take infinite time to think. Mm-hmm. Like Mahjong game, people will say, hey, come on, you don't have all day, right? So you have to discard a card if you couldn't make it quickly. For example, like now. Actually, we had quite a bit of easy time in a sense. This is done, this is done, this is done. There's only 5-letter word out of this. Maybe, maybe you could with something TT, you know, 5-letter word with a wild